What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in to Postgame with Jamell. I am here with one of my classmates that I used to go to school with, even though she's a bit older than me. She's a senior at Santa Fe Indian School, and she is a activist for Black lives in tribes and all around the world. Like she posts on her Instagram, she posts it. I'll be putting her Instagram down in the description so you can go follow her. And Taylor, can you tell the people about yourself?
Okay, hi, my name is Taylor Natseway. I come from Laguna Pueblo, Navajo Nation, and Miwok tribe, and I am in 12th grade. And like you said before, I'm an activist, kind of. I represent um, Native sovereignty and Black liberation.
All right. So, Taylor, what event made you say like enough's enough? This shit or this stuff, this shit should already have ended. Like, what event occurred made you to do that or to start?
Okay, well, okay. It was my junior year, and that year I really started getting into my Black roots, pretty much. And I started exploring with more um, Black hairstyles, protective hairstyles. So, towards the beginning of the year, I had box braids. Everybody liked it, and I was like, you know what? Let me try something new. So after December, I was like, you know what? I want to get a wig. Why not? Like, I'm tired of straightening my hair and damaging it. So I did. And it was okay for a couple of weeks, but when I changed into another one, like everybody had something to say about it. And it would definitely like distract me in class, especially because I was kind of like really quiet. I was a quiet kid. I didn't really talk to anybody unless you talk to me. So that was hardly ever. But yeah, so these couple of peers that I had started like talking about my wig, and they were like, what happens if I pull it off, or just like stupid stuff like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it started going deeper into like my skin color and stuff like that. So it definitely got me mad a little bit, but I still kept my composure until maybe the second week. That's when I got tired of it. So I went to the office and I explained what was happening to me in class, and they didn't really have anything to say about it, really. Just like, I'm sorry, this had to happen to you, you know, that's about
Yeah.
it. And then
That's
they
bas-
whipped out, yeah, and they just whipped out contracts. They were like, well, this is all we could do about it. So after the
yeah.
contracts were signed, it didn't stop, and it went into the summer, and that's what you. And that was when I was like, enough is enough. I'm gonna speak out about what I'm experiencing, and if you don't like it, then fine. You know. So yeah.
Yes, that led you to making that presentation that you sent me and that you posted on your Instagram, right?
Um. Well, I could say that as soon as I went to Santa Fe Indian School, and as soon as I heard about the SHP, I already knew that was gonna be my topic. So for like 4 years, yeah, I've
Yeah.
been thinking about that presentation.
Yeah, I remember that's basically the only type of excuse they tend to pull out. And I remember the time I experienced that, and I believe it was my eighth grade year.
Mm-hmm.
I was took off my hoodie. I had a jamboree hoodie, and put it on the table because it was during lunch, and we went to go ball up, and
Yeah.
on the table. I guess the bell rang and we all had to run through, and I forgot my jacket outside. And I asked
Mm-hmm.
one of the RAs if I could go get my jacket because I left it outside. They said, go ahead. And then I just got my jacket. I picked it up, and then I made sure nothing, what I left was in there. And then I saw the side of my hoodie, and it was defaced in a Sharpie, and it said, ooh, ooh, you fucking monkey. I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah,
I brought it to my mom, and
that's definitely like that's a bad experience. You know what I mean? Like, what did they tell you, or how did that
basic,
go?
basically, I brought it to my mom, and then that Sunday that she brought me back, we went to Miss Chalon, and she basically gave the people in dorm, and then they had a court date as well.
Yeah. Well, that's a good
Hold
thing
on.
though, because
Okay, so basically they gave them a court date. I left off at them giving them a court date, and I don't know what happened after that. And then it happened again in my freshman year. And basically, I went to the office. They just told me, "Do you want a counselor for this?" I'm like, "No, I need you."
yeah, they
Fuckers.
did the same to me, except like they were like, "Do you want a counselor?" And it kept on happening during the week. So they were like, "You know what? I'm gonna send you a pass to go to pass." So I was sitting in pass like every day from the beginning in the morning till the end of the school day. So that kind of pressed me, just a little bit.
Does it? Did those like events make you feel like you wanted to leave that school?
Definitely, but I feel like that school has a lot to offer,
Yeah.
especially yeah, and like dual credits. So I was like, you know what? I already did 1 year of this dual credit, and the next year I'm gonna get a certificate. So why am I gonna leave now?
Hmm.
And then I had National Honor Society inductees or whatever the heck.
Hmm.
So I was like, you know what? It's just 1 more year. So
Yeah. Um, would you say the way that the students treated you, like with your hair and your skin color, was it like very harsh? Like, what would you rate it like on a scale of like 1 to 10? 10 being the most harsh.
I think it's a 7 because not only do you get it from like that one person, like actually saying it to your face or saying it around you where you could hear it, but like you could hear it like in the whole SFIS community and nobody says anything about it.
Did it at one point like get to a higher level? Like, did it get it to like out of control at one point, or was it still like normally?
Um, it did get out of control because I remember that time. My friends at the time, they were like, you know what, I see that you're like really bugged about it. And it was bugging me in class too. It was affecting my mental health and everything like that. So, I mean, definitely. Like, I remember I was in class this one time and it was bugging me because it just was in my mind at the moment. So my friend, she was all like, let's go to the office. And I saw her, the girl that was saying stuff about me, like, I saw her friends, they were in the same class. They were looking at me and talking about me like in that class. And I was like, you know what? So I started yelling at them like I was like, what, bitch? Like, you got something to say? And then the teacher was like, get out, Taylor, get out. So I went to the office, and then that was the day after the contracts. And I just felt the need to yell. I got in the office and I yelled at Patrice, I yelled at Faith. Anybody that was in the room, they were like, come get security. I was like, no, you're going to hear me. Like, you don't understand what it's like to be, you know, Afro-Indigenous in this school because it's so toxic. Like, yeah.
Was it like the same effect in, like you mentioned you experiencing that in your pueblo, like like practice for dances and stuff, would you say like it's at the same level, or was it a little bit worse, or like a little bit less?
Um, I say it's a little bit worse because I can't really feel comfortable in my community setting. I always felt like weird about things that I shouldn't be weird about, like participating in cultural doings and everything like that. So, yeah, definitely. And I had experiences at home too with like tribal leaders saying racially discriminative stuff to me. And then when I reported it, nothing happened. And they only promoted them instead of really disciplining them. So
What would you say the Indian school needs to do to like better this situation and put a stop to this and prevent it in the future?
I think you actually need you do need court dates. People need to learn. I'm sorry, but like people should already know that you shouldn't discriminate at all. And not only that, like SFIS teachers, like as soon as you want to teach there, they give you like this racial background about the school and they teach you about it and all the things that indigenous students do, like
Okay.
you need something to back up what you're trying to preach. You need to teach about other races too, is what I'm trying to say, is because not everybody there is fully native, not everybody there is from pueblos, you know. And indigenous doesn't always look indigenous. Indigenous could look like different colors, as you say. Like there's white indigenous people, black, Mexican, Hispanic, Latino, Asian. Like there isn't one look to indigenous.
And you mentioned something about like, was it like students and teachers taking like a racial sensitivity course at the school, or like making it like a requirement?
Yes, I definitely feel like that because at SFIS we only represent Native American culture, and we only learn about Native American culture, and that's not right. We need to outreach to other cultures and be accepting of that, and um, really respect other cultures.
And this is going to be the last question. So, what message would you give to the audience listening to this podcast today?
Just be respectful of other people's differences. Like, not everybody's like you. And not only that, like, if you see someone disrespecting someone's race, you need to be vocal about that. Tell them that that's not right, because people keep on doing it because they feel comfortable doing it, knowing that nobody will say anything about it.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have
Mhm.
hope this racism ends sooner than later before it's too late.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you, and you have a good evening.
Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll see you.
All right.